So how long does it take the National Visa Center to schedule an interview in September 2024, the last month before the end of the fiscal year? In this video, we'll talk about the time frame that it's taken NVC to send cases to embassies for interviews. We'll talk about what goes in this process right now, things to be aware as we are ending the fiscal year in October of 2024. Lots to cover, so let's jump right into the video. So as you know, once the USCIS finishes processing your immigrant visa, mostly the I-130 if it's a family-based petition, or an I-140 if it's an immigrant visa based on employment, the case moves to the National Visa Center. What happens at the National Visa Center? Once the case arrives at the National Visa Center, the case enters into stage number 1, case creation. In most cases, it will take about 45 days for most cases to go through the case creation process. During the case creation process, the NVC will set up the case number and put all the data into their system. And finally, they will send you a welcome letter with all the information you need about your case as well as how to track it. Then we move into step number 2, document submission and case review. This process may take anywhere from 1 month to 4 months, depending on how you send the documents and how complex your case is. During that step, if they have any confusion about your file or they need more documents, they will contact you. You can also contact them through the public inquiry forum to find out if there's an issue with your case or if they need more information about your file. At the end of this process, they will consider your case documented complete, and then you'll be sitting there waiting for the case to be sent to a U.S. embassy or consulate, depending on when the availability opens at the embassy or consulate. Once again, once the NVC considers your case documented complete, you'll be waiting at the NVC for the embassy or consulate to open interview slot. That will depend on which country you're supposed to be scheduled and what type of case we are dealing. Is it a family member, immediate family member? Is it a priority preference? We also have to make sure that the dates are available, because if you're not an immediate family, if you're not a spouse or a parent of a U.S. citizen, you have to monitor the visa bulletin to make sure the dates are current in the final action dates chart. So how long do you have to wait until the NVC can finally send your case to the embassy and an interview will be scheduled? Well, again, it depends. NVC are trying to work as fast as they can. They are fighting the backlog, and as I report to you every single month about the backlog, you can see that they've done a good job, but it's still a lot of cases. Close to 300,000 cases are sitting at NVC waiting to be scheduled for an interview. And your case could be one of those cases. What I've seen right now on average is that if your case gets documented complete in 2024 and you're not from a complex country, for example, like Pakistan, India, the Philippines, Nigeria, if you're not from a complex country like that, most places will be scheduled interviews within 6 months. Now, there are people who are still waiting from 2023 and late 2022. We are aware of that. And those people are part of that backlog. And some of those cases are still not yet current because the visa bulletin retrogressed and they kind of fell in the limbo. Now, it's important for you to monitor the dates in the visa bulletin. And as soon as you become current, you need to contact the National Visa Center and see if they can pressure to move your case to an embassy as soon as possible. Remember, there are still cases in backlog, but there are people still getting interviews in 2024 if they are from a country that has a lot of availability and their cases are fairly simple. Another important thing is that once you get your interview scheduled, no matter what country you're from, do not reschedule your interview. The reason is because if you reschedule your interview, if you try to move around appointments, it will further cause delays and you may lose your place in the line. So if you can avoid it and you get scheduled, do not reschedule. I hear people that need to reschedule for whatever reasons. Don't reschedule. Try to make the appointment. It will be very beneficial for you. How do you communicate with them? You can let them know about something or change. Use the public inquiry forum. That's the best way to communicate with NVC, and it's the best way for you to track your communication. Let's talk about the 1-year contract rule with NVC. If there's no action on your case within 1 year, the National Visa Center can terminate your case because they have so many cases out there. I hear people that get their cases terminated because they don't communicate with NVC because they don't think it's not the time yet. Check on your case at least once a year, even twice. Use the public inquiry form. Log into your account. If you do those things, that's considered taking action on your case, because if you don't, they will close your case. Now, it's possible to reinstate it. I'm doing a lot of reinstatements right now, but please try to avoid that by communicating with NVC on a regular basis, at least twice a year. Now, the bottom line is that now that we are at the end of the fiscal year for 2024, we're in September, more and more embassies and consulates are scheduling interviews for applicants that have visas available, specifically immediate family members, specifically K1 visas. A lot of people are getting interviews faster, and I'm talking about within 6 months from being documented complete. At the same time, we've got a lot of people that are waiting over a year, sometimes close to 2 years. They're documented complete, even if their priority dates are current. Why is this happening? The State Department said that it's happening because some embassies or posts are not able to handle as many cases. And they're trying to fight those backlogs by doing many things, by interview waivers, by getting more consular officers. But it really depends on where you're from. And even in particular embassies where some people are getting interviews faster, other people are not getting the interviews as fast. So remember, don't compare yourself to others. I know you're reading a lot of things on forums. Your case is different than somebody else's case. So don't be discouraged. They're doing their best they can, and will continue to update you on the processing of different visas. Specifically, as the new visa bulletin will become available in October, we'll obviously give you an update. But in terms of visa processing, it's really, really different now than it used to be 6 months ago, because some people are getting their interviews faster and others are still waiting in the backlog. Try to follow up with NVC, try to communicate with them, try to move your case to a different post if you're really sitting on your case for too long. And finally, if they're really sitting on your case and not scheduling you, you can file a mandamus to push your case forward. Whatever that is, if you need with your help with your immigration matters, send me a text 619-483-4549 or go to www.immigrationasap.com. Leave your details and one of our team members will help you. Also, if you're here for the first time, please subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And finally, as always, thanks for watching our videos. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.